If you're a student in high school preparing for college, you're probably trying to juggle schoolwork, projects, extracurriculars, sports, the SAT and the ACT. In managing your time can feel extremely overwhelming. But in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 game-changing tips that helped me ace the rollercoaster ride of high school and stay productive. Let's get into it. The thing that most students do wrong is basic scheduling. Just open up your Google Calendars and sort all of your tasks into 3 categories. The first is fixed events. This includes things like school. Every single day from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. you have school, so block that out in your calendar. Your social events are also fixed events. For example, if you're going to a party on Saturday night, that's something for which you can't really change the time. So that's one of the first things you block out in your calendar. Another example is if you have badminton practice at 4 p.m. after school. Other things can include if I'm having a meeting for this extracurricular project with all my volunteers at 5 p.m. I can't really change that on a short notice because there are other people involved. So I'm going to schedule it as a fixed activity. The next thing you want to schedule is your deadlines. For example, you have a physics test on Thursday at 1 p.m. That's a deadline that you're going to put in your calendar. Once you have all of these fixed events blocked out, it's so easy to see where you want to schedule the events that you have control over. So for example, I need to study for this physics test and I have control over when I want to study. So suppose my test is on Thursday. On Wednesday evening, I'm going to block out a 3-hour chunk of time just to study for this physics test. If my volunteer meeting is on Friday at 6 p.m., I'm going to block out time 1 hour before that to prepare. The reason calendars are so effective is because now there is literally no concept of I don't have time. You can visually see every minute of every day that you have this week on your calendar. Now you need to fill it in this extremely effective order of scheduling your fixed tasks, your deadlines, and then deciding where the tasks that you have control over are actually placed. The second thing that I use that I literally cannot live without is my bullet journal. This basically tells me what activities I need to fill in each week. At the beginning of every month, I set some very clear monthly goals and then break them down into weekly goals. For example, my goal for this month is to finish my ebook on computational linguistics and scale my volunteer program to 4 more schools. So each week I need to be writing 25 pages of my ebook and I need to hold our first session in 1 new school. So now I know that I need to schedule time for writing 25 pages into my calendar. And since I can visually see when I have time, I know that Tuesday evenings are free. So I'm going to schedule a big 3-hour block of time to write those 25 pages. I can also see that Saturday afternoons are free. So I'm going to schedule my session with this new school on Saturday. And since the session is on Saturday, I'm going to schedule a call with my teammates on Friday evening so we can plan out the session. This gives you an excellent framework for making sure that you do everything you want to do in a given week and you save time. The third tip I have is batching. This is something that Tim Ferriss talks about in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I find it quite hard to switch on and off between different tasks. So if I have to write emails for fundraising for my volunteer program, instead of writing 5 emails every day, I'll schedule a 1-hour block of time in my calendar where I write 50 emails altogether. This saves time because I don't have to open my email and template each time I sit down to do this. Instead, I can create one template and quickly send it to 50 people together. Another example is if I have a lot of work to do for my volunteering program to tutor students. Because I know that I have no school tests or deadlines on Wednesday, I will devote the entire Tuesday evening to this project. So for example, first, I might have a call with my friend to discuss our upcoming tutoring session. Second, I might want to make a lesson plan or make a video for students to revise after the session. Immediately after that, I might schedule a call with the mentor to get some feedback on our upcoming session. And finally, after dinner, I would update the website and add some new pictures. This way, instead of having to switch on and off by working on a lesson for an hour and then studying for an hour and then having sports practice and then back to the lesson, I save that time that it takes me to get settled and focused into a new task. And once I achieve that focused state, I actually make full use of it because I'm doing the same thing for long chunks of time. Eliminating the inertia that it takes to switch on and off again between different activities saves a lot more time than you can possibly imagine. The fourth tip is to eliminate distractions. Now, this is something that's taken from James Clear's amazing book, Atomic Habits. I would highly recommend this for any student. He says that seeing objects often acts as a cue or a trigger for us to have a craving. For For example, if I see my phone, that will act as a trigger for me to crave the distraction of checking Instagram. So the way to avoid getting distracted is to just eliminate these cues or triggers in the first place. So for example, I'll take my phone and I'll put it in the cupboard. Or if you have YouTube bookmarked on your home screen for Google, take it away and put it somewhere else. Removing the cue that prompts your brain to crave that distraction actually takes away any craving or wanting to engage in that distraction in the first place. If I don't see my phone, I won't feel that urge to check Instagram and get that instant dopamine rush. This is the single most helpful change that you can make to your environment if you're trying to focus on a task and get it done as quickly as possible. And my final tip is to hype it up. Never do a task with the mindset that, oh, I have to now drag myself through this boring, annoying task for 3 hours. That will absolutely tank your productivity. Anytime you're about to do any task, get excited. Even if it's the worst, most boring task in the world, like writing emails, in your mind, you want to be thinking, I'm going to do this amazing task and I'm going to have so much fun and I'm so privileged and so happy and so excited that I get to do this amazing thing. Just use a fake it till you make it approach. Trust me, this will 100% skyrocket your productivity because you're tricking your brain into believing that this is something that you really enjoy. And when you enjoy something, you're automatically more likely to achieve that focus and concentration that you need to do something quickly. I know it sounds unconventional, but literally just try it for 2 days and comment below how you feel. Not being excited to do something or going into it with the wrong mindset is the #1 thing that absolutely tanks our productivity and throws it in the drain. When you have a lot that you're trying to achieve and you want to do it in the most effective way possible, this tip is game changing. And finally, a bonus tip, make sure you have time for things in your calendar that are just fun, whether that's social events or reading a book or playing an instrument or just hanging out with your friends. It's so important to let our brains recharge. If we're constantly trying to overwork ourselves, all that happens is that we end up stressed, unproductive, feeling lazy, feeling down, and that's not really very helpful to the whole concept of time management. Make sure that when you're doing tip #1, which is scheduling, you keep in mind that you want to schedule at least half an hour of something that you really enjoy every single day. If these tips for time management helped you, I would love for you to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe below because we talk about time management, because we talk about college applications, being a student, studying, productivity, and all that good stuff on this channel. You can check out more helpful videos for students here. If you have any questions, please comment them below. I love reading and responding to your comments. Don't be a silent viewer. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new video.